All right, guys, I'm back with another chapter in 1 Samuel. We're in 1 Samuel chapter 16, where the header reads, Samuel anoints David. Now, there's a little bit of a prelude for this one. It basically says over the next 15 chapters, it's going to be a reflection of the relationship of Saul and David. So I'm just going to read a little bit of this prelude, and then I'm going to get right into chapter 16. Okay, guys? While Saul is still on the throne, Samuel anoints David as Israel's next king. Young David then bravely conquers Goliath, the Philistine champion, and establishes a lifelong friendship with Jonathan, Saul's son. When Saul realizes that David will become king one day, he grows very jealous and tries to kill David on several occasions. David escapes into Philistine territory until Saul is killed in battle. When treated unjustly, we should not take matters into our own hands. God, who is faithful and just, sees all that is happening and will judge all evil. And we'll get right into chapter 16, guys. Now the Lord said to Samuel, You have mourned long enough for Saul. I have rejected him as king of Israel. So fill your flask with olive oil and go to Bethlehem. Find a man named Jesse who lives there, for I have selected one of his sons to be my king. But Samuel asked, How can I do that? If Saul hears about it, he will kill me. Take a heifer with you, the Lord replied, and say that you have come to make a sacrifice to the Lord. Invite Jesse to the sacrifice, and I will show you which of his sons to anoint for me. So Samuel did as the Lord instructed. When he arrived at Bethlehem, the elders of the town came trembling to meet him. What's wrong? They asked. Do you come in peace? Yes, Samuel replied. I have come to sacrifice to the Lord. Purify yourselves and come with me to the sacrifice. Then Samuel performed the purification rite for Jesse and his sons and invited them to the sacrifice too. When they arrived, Samuel took one look at Eliab and thought, Surely this is the Lord's anointed. But the Lord said to Samuel, Don't judge by appearance or height, for I have rejected him. The Lord doesn't see things the way you see them. People judge by outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. Then Jesse told his son Abinadab to step forward and walk in front of Samuel. But Samuel said, This is not the one the Lord has chosen. Next Jesse summoned Shimea. But Samuel said, Neither is this the one the Lord has chosen. In the same way, all 7 of Jesse's sons were presented to Samuel. But Samuel said to Jesse, The Lord has not chosen any of these. Then Samuel asked, Are these all the sons you have? They're still the youngest, Jesse replied. But he's out in the field watching the sheep and goats. Send for him at once, Samuel said. We will not sit down to eat until he arrives. So Jesse sent for him. He was dark and handsome, with beautiful eyes. And the Lord said, This is the one. Anoint him. So as David stood there among his brothers, Samuel took the flask of olive oil he had brought and anointed David with the oil. And the Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon David from that day on. Then Samuel returned to Ramah. Now the Spirit of the Lord had left Saul, and the Lord sent a tormenting spirit that filled him with depression and fear. Some of Saul's servants said to him, A tormenting spirit from God is troubling you. Let us find a good musician to play the harp whenever the tormenting spirit troubles you. He will play soothing music, and you will soon be well again. All right, Saul said. Find me someone who plays well, and bring him here. One of the servants said to Saul, One of Jesse's sons from Bethlehem is a talented harp player. Not only that, he is a brave warrior, a man of war, and has good judgment. He is also a fine-looking young man, and the Lord is with him. So Saul sent messengers to Jesse to say, Send me your son David, the shepherd. Jesse responded by sending David to Saul, along with a young goat, a donkey loaded with bread, and a wineskin full of wine. So David went to Saul and began serving him. Saul loved David very much, and David became his armor-bearer. Then Saul sent word to Jesse, asking, Please let David remain in my service, for I am very pleased with him. And whenever the tormenting spirit from God troubled Saul, David would play the harp. Then Saul would feel better, and the tormenting spirit would go away. And that is the end of chapter 16, guys. So I love God's intention for us. And it's so unique from person to person, which is why it's so important that we all have that relationship with him. Because at face value, you would look and see that, you know, Samuel was concerned with how Saul would react once he identified that God was going to replace him, basically. And what does God do? God has David go right into the lion's den and just show just how truly in control he is. There was no way for Saul to know that he had a usurper in his midst, and that he was currently serving him, and serving him out of love. Not only that, but he was happy, and he was telling Jesse how well his son served him and how pleased he was. There's so many fantastic explanations and examples in this Bible that show, man, when you think you are down and out, or it couldn't get any worse, or you couldn't be more in danger, it's just more proof of just how in control God is, and how he has you in the palm of his hand the entire time. And your location and your destination is of no consequence to the success that he has intended for your life. And so, on that note, have a good night and God bless. I love you. Jesus loves you. And tomorrow we'll be back for chapter 17 of 1 Samuel, where the header reads, David and Goliath. Goliath challenges the Israelites. And that's I'm a big fan of this story, so I look forward to reading that with you guys. So have a good night and God bless. Well, have a good night and God bless, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.